In this video, we are going to show you how to solve linear equations using the distributive property. We use the distributive property to get rid of the parentheses. We're going to solve this using the procedure that's given to us. Okay, we're going to go through it step by step. So first thing we have to do is use the distributive property to remove the parenthesis. So here you have to distribute the 2, so 2 times 4x, and then 2 times negative 1. So 2 times 4x is ax, and then we have minus 2. Bring down the equal sign. The distributive property again to remove this parenthesis, so we distribute the negative 10. So you have negative 10x plus 30, and then bring down the 4. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is to use the addition or subtraction properties to move the variable term to one side and then the other terms to the other side. So before we do that, we're going to go ahead and simplify this expressions right here, because right here you have two constant. So we're going to go ahead and add those up before we move on to step 2. So again, we're going to rewrite this equation. Ax minus 2 is negative 10x. And then when you collect these two terms, you get 34. Okay, so step 1. And then step 2, we're going to use the addition or subtraction property to move the variable term to one side and then all other terms to the other side. So here we're going to move the negative 10x. Okay, we're going to get rid of the negative 10x, and to get rid of it, you add 10x, and then if you add 10x to the right, you got to add 10x to the left. Okay, so ax and 10x is 18x. And then we're going to bring down the negative 2 equal. And then here, when you combine those two, comes out to 0. And then we bring down the 34. Okay. We're still on step 2. And then we got to move the constant to the other side. So we got to move the negative 2. So how do we get rid of the negative 2? We add 2 to it. And then we add 2 to this side. All right, so here we have 18x. And then these two add up to 0. And then over here we have 36. Okay, so all that is step 2. Step 3 is to use the multiplication or division property to remove any number in front of the variable. So we have, what we have in front of the variable is the 18. So here we have multiply 18 multiply with x. So to get rid of the 18, we do opposite of multiply is divide. So we're going to divide by 18. And then we're going to divide this by 18. Okay, 18 divided by 18 is 1. So you're left with x. And then on the other side, 18 goes into 36 2 times. So x is 2. 2 back into the original equation. So here we have 2 times, here we're going to have, when you go 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. So this whole thing is 7. So 2 times 7. Okay, and then the other side you have negative 10. And then we're going to plug 2 in here. 2 take away 3 is negative 1. So this here we have negative 1. And then bring down the plus 4. All right, so 2 times 7 here. So 2 times 7 is 14. And then the other side, we have negative 10 times negative 1 is positive 10. And then when you add that to 4, and then when you add that to 4, you get 14 is 14. So that's how we know it's right. So the answer to the equation, x is 2. Okay, let's take a look at another one. And we're going to use the distributive property to solve this equation, find out what x is. Okay, so first thing we have to do is get rid of the parenthesis. And we have to use the distributive property to do that. So here we have to distribute the 8. So 8 times x and then 8 times 4. So we're going to have, so we'll have ax plus 32. Then here we have to distribute the negative 2. So negative 2 times x. And then negative 2 times negative 1. So we have negative 2x plus 2 is, and then we'll bring down the 70 minus 3x. And then here we have to combine like terms. Looks like we have to collect the ax with the negative 2x. And then here we have 32 with positive 2. So that's going to give us 34. And then we'll bring down the 70, take away 3x. Okay, so that's step 1. We went on and used the distributive property to get rid of the parenthesis. Now step 2 is to get the variable on one side and then the constant on the other side. So we're going to get rid of negative 3x by adding 3x to it. And then if we add 3x to the right, we got to add 3x to the left-hand side. So 6x plus 3x is 9x. Bring down the 34 is 70. Because these are gone, they add up to 0. Okay, so that's step 2. Well, we're still on step 2 because we got to move the constant to the other side. So we have to minus 34 to get rid of positive 34. And then minus 34 to the 70. So 9x. And these are gone. And then on the right hand side, you have 70 minus 34. Well, that's going to give you 36. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3 is to get rid of the number in front of the variable. So we have a multiply by 9. Okay, so to get rid of it, you do the opposite, and that is to divide by 9. So we divide that by 9. We got to divide the right hand side by 9. So 9 over 9 is 1. So you're left with x. And then 9 goes into 36. We know it's 4 times. All right, so x is 4. That's step 3. And then the last thing we have to do is check to see if we have the right answer. So we're going to do it real quick. All right, so we have 8. And we're going to plug 4 in here. So that would be 8 times 8. Because 4 plus 4 is 8 inside. And then minus 2. And then 4 minus 1 is 3. And then on the right, we have 70 minus 3 times 4. Okay, so 8 times 8 is 64. So 64 take away 6. And then here you have 70 minus 12. So we have 58 is 58. All right, so your final answer is x equals to 4, and we checked it, so we know it's right. All right, let's take a look at this. So first thing we have to do is use the distributive property to get rid of the parenthesis. So here we're going to do step 1 is, step 1 is to use the distributive property to remove the parenthesis. So here we're going to distribute the 7. So 7 times x, and then 7 times 3. So we have 7x plus 21. And then we'll bring down the 9. And then here we distribute the 5. So 5 times x, and then 5 times negative 2. So 5x minus 10. And then bring down the negative 3x. Okay, and then we have to simplify. So we have to combine like terms. So it looks like here we have 21 and 9. We have to collect those. Those are like terms. So we have 7x plus 30, 21 plus 9. And then on the other side, we have the 5x. We have to combine that with the negative 3x. So that will give us 2x, and then bring down the negative 10. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is to get the variable on one side and then the constant to the other side. So we're going to get rid of the positive 2x and that to minus 2x. And then we have to minus 2x to the 7x. Okay, so here we have 5x plus 30 is, and these two add up to 0, and then we'll bring down the negative 10. Okay, so we gotta isolate the term with the variable, so we have to get rid of the positive 30. So how do we get rid of the positive 30? Well, we have to minus 30. We do the opposite. So minus 30 and then minus 30. Okay, so here we have 5x, and then positive 30, negative 30, those are gone. And then negative 10 plus negative 30 will give us negative 40. Okay, so that's step 2. Step 3 is to get rid of the numbers in front of the variable. So we have a times 5. So to make it go away, we do the opposite, and that is to divide by 5. So we divide that by 5. We got to do the same to the right. All right, so 5 over 5 turns into a 1. So you're left with x. And then 5 goes into negative 40, negative 8 times. Okay, so x is negative 8. Okay, so that was step 3. And then step 4, we have to check it. We're going to do that real quick, and we can do it in our head. Work out the parentheses in your head by plugging negative 8 in there. All right, so we have 7. So if I put negative 8 in here, negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. And then plus 9. And then 7 times negative 5 is negative 35 plus 9. Well, that's going to give us negative 26. All right, let's see what the other side is. 5 times negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10. And then negative 3 times negative 8. So here we have negative 50, because 5 times negative 10 is negative 50, and then plus 24. And that's going to give us negative 26. All right, so That's how you know that your correct answer, your final answer is -8, and it's the right answer.